Let's keep this going right now. This guy's hilarious. Put your hands together for Sean Robinson, everybody.
My name is Sean Robinson, and I am a geek. Now, some of you may not know the difference between nerds and geeks, so let me educate you. Nerds know useful things. A nerd, he can help you with your homework. A nerd can prepare your taxes. A nerd can fix your computer. But me, I can tell you how dilithium crystals work on the Starship Enterprise. I know, it's super impressive, but you'd be surprised how few employers are impressed with that fact like me and you. I don't want to brag, but I've been on a lot of job interviews, and not once has a prospective employer taken a gander at my resume and said, Mr. Robinson, it says you can recite every line to Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I like the cut of your jib. You're hired. Hasn't happened yet. So, earlier this week, a very important day happened, and I want to make certain that all of you have done your part. No, I'm not talking about voting. I'm talking about the anniversary of the very first Godzilla movie. So, for you, I'm going to tell you a brief history of Godzilla, but in pro wrestling terms. Godzilla started his career as a heel. It was supposed to be a one-off, but the pop he received was so huge, he was signed to multiple dates. And by 1962, he had worked his way up the card, and he was picked to work a promotional program with the American superstar King Kong. Now, Godzilla did the J.O.B., he counted the lights for the 1, 2, 3, and even though he lost, the rub he got from Kong was so big, he became so over that he could no longer work heel. He had to turn babyface, which he did at the King Ghidorah event, where he did a run-in, and he saved Mothra. It's true. And then, in about 1975, the Godzilla character had grown stale. So, he decided to take some time off to be repackaged. He came back in 1984 as a heel. Recently, he worked another match with Kong. He did. And this time, though, the finish protected both monsters because Mechagodzilla interfered. Then they teamed up. And I suspect we're going to have an oddball tag team match in the future. Now, as you can tell from my last rant, I have not had a date in a very long time. Now, I used to think that my lack of a social life came from my geeky interests, but that can't be true. Marvel movies are huge. So I thought about it. And I determined that it must have happened when I was a teenager, like most teenagers. At one point, I decided to rebel against my parents' beliefs. Unfortunately, my parents were hippies, so I chose to rebel by not taking drugs. I used to get invited to parties, but at some point at every party, somebody would break out the weed, and I go, if I wanted to smoke bud, I would have stayed home with my dad. I just didn't get it. I thought everyone's parents wore sandals and lit incense. I thought everybody had random aunts and uncles that only appeared when the Grateful Dead rolled into town. I thought all parents cooked 2 batches of brownies, one for mom and dad and one for the kids. I just thought that was normal. Now, I see you looking at me and you're going, I want to be just like him. I want to start watching the sci-fi, but I warn you, it is a slippery slope. Now, everybody here has seen Star Wars. Everybody here has done Star Wars. Star Wars is the gateway drug to sci-fi. Now, I know what you say. I only do Star Wars in social situations, only with a couple of friends. I can quit anytime I want. But before you know it, you'll find yourself watching Star Trek after a hard day's work. And then they'll catch you in the back room shooting up to Battlestar Galactica. And then it's a hop, skip, and a jump till you're in the middle of some seedy back alley turn-in tricks for the Lord of the Rings. My name is Sean Robinson, and you have been awesome.
Keep it going for Sean Robinson, everybody. Keep it going for him. A little warning.